News Channel 15's Alyssa Ivanson just got to the scene. She's live at the home. So what do you know, Alyssa?
Well, I actually just spoke with the man who lives in this house just a few moments ago, and he said 2 years ago today, his family moved into this home here on Cliffgate Pass. Today, it burned down. You can see behind me where part of the roof has collapsed there in the center, and 4 different fire departments on the scene right now, and they're doing what's called overhaul, where they are now checking for any hot spots, any places the fire could still be smoldering. You can see it's still smoking there in the center of the house. When firefighters got here, they said it was fully engulfed. Actually, nobody was home at the time of the fire. A neighbor saw flames coming out of the front door, according to firefighters, and they called it in. The homeowner then arrived pretty quickly and actually was able to get one of their dogs out. Nobody was hurt in this fire, no animals or people, but as you can see, a lot of damage and destruction to the home here. 4 different fire departments on the scene: Arcola Volunteer Fire Department, Boyd Township, Jefferson Township, and Southwest Fire District. I've counted at least 13 different fire apparatus as well. You can see firefighters out in the yard getting a lot of kind of rehydration after putting out this fire, but again, right now working to make sure it does not reignite. But nobody was hurt in this fire 2 years ago today when the homeowner moved in. Back to you.
Human trafficking. It's considered modern-day slavery, forcing people to work against their will.
It happens in every corner of the world, including right here in Northeast Indiana and Northwest Ohio. But many people don't realize how big of a problem it really is. That's why 15 Finds Out investigator Alyssa Ivanson started digging deeper to uncover the problem of hidden predators.
Human trafficking encompasses both sex trafficking and labor trafficking. It affects men and women of all ages, races, and social status. It's a $150 billion illegal industry worldwide. The FBI considers sex trafficking to be the fastest growing organized crime. It's estimated 18,000 people were trafficked in the U.S. in 2015. Half were children, 75% trafficked into the sex trade. In Indiana last year, nearly 200 cases of underage sex trafficking were reported to one service provider alone. On any given day, hundreds of children are being advertised for sex online in just 10 Indiana cities. 25 to 40 of those are in Fort Wayne. The numbers can be staggering, but stopping human trafficking starts with acknowledging that it's happening here, and it's happening now.
It's here, just people don't notice it.
We see it on a regular basis.
Fort Wayne, Indiana, shocked me.
It can happen to anybody, any race, any religion, any gender.
We don't think it's here. We think it's third world underdeveloped countries, and that's not true at all. It's here in Indiana, it's Fort Wayne, Huntington.
If you allow yourself to be educated and you open your eyes and understand what trafficking really looks like, then you'll never be able to deny it again.
Last year, the Fort Wayne Police Department investigated 15 cases of sex trafficking. 11 victims in those cases, 23 people arrested. In a joint operation with the FBI, the department also helped rescue 3 more underage girls from sex trafficking. What do those numbers say to you?
I think it's surprising, and also that it's probably something that's even bigger than what we even realize. Probably just really the tip of the iceberg.
Our numbers on human trafficking are probably well under what they really are because we don't really know.
How big a problem is human trafficking in Northeast Indiana?
It's one of our largest, fastest growing crimes. The one thing that our investigators are finding is that gangs are now realizing that they can sell a drug once, but they can sell a child 3 or 4 times in a day.
Not all, but most sex trafficking involves women or girls forced into prostitution or pornography.
We have a lot of local pimps that live right here in Fort Wayne. And, you know, we use the word pimp, and everybody, they picture, you know, leisure suits and big puffy hats. It's anybody. It's just a businessman is all it is.
The FBI's been targeting sex trafficking in Fort Wayne for the last 3 years, working undercover operations to try to help girls get out and take down the traffickers.
I can guarantee there is no hotel in Fort Wayne that we have not been to or had an operation in. It'll happen everywhere and anywhere. At the beginning of last year, over the course of a month, we started working into 4 different cases of human trafficking. So in the span of 3 months, we had 8 girls that we were dealing with, and they were all underage.
It can start many different ways. Girls often groomed over social media. Traffickers make them feel special and wanted, will even buy dinners and presents.
And then all of a sudden, hey, you've got to do this for me. And then when she doesn't, he either beats her or has somebody else beat her. And then she's so afraid for her life that she doesn't really have an option. And some women, it's very difficult for them to get out of that.
You know, they will find ways to manipulate you and brainwash you into thinking that you're the girlfriend, you're more important than the other girls, this is just how it is. Using other girls to say, hey, I've been doing this for X number of years, it's really not that big a deal.
One Fort Wayne case involved a teenager who ran away from home. She put on Facebook she needed a ride. Within 6 hours of getting picked up, she was prostituting.
Prostituted with 3 people until they met with us when we finally were able to stop it, and we got on it quickly. I mean, it was that next morning we saw it and we acted on it. As fast as we saw those pictures, we thought, she's underage, we need to get her like now. So we were the first date for the morning, so we stopped it quickly.
How misunderstood is sex trafficking?
I think the perception is most women want to be doing what they're doing.
I could tell you I've talked to all of them, and none of them wanted to do this, but they got stuck.
Post-advertising girls can be found all over the internet. One of the more popular sites, Backpage, was recently censored by the government.
It's a good message to bring awareness, which is obviously why a lot of things have been upticking, is there's a lot more awareness in human trafficking. So it is a nice thing to bring awareness, and maybe in the end, it'll bring up more support.
But awareness starts in the community, and everyone acknowledging when something doesn't seem right.
People look at it and say, oh, that doesn't seem right, but then they cast it off because they're busy with what their day is, so they don't realize what they just saw.
Do they have hotel keys? Do they have an excessive amount of money? Who are they with? Are they hanging with people that appear too old to be their boyfriend or girlfriend, but too young to be a parent? Other things like, how do they behave around them? Are they really open and honest about what's going on? Are they very guarded in what they talk to you about? If that person is around and you ask them what they did today and they can't tell you without asking for permission, there's a problem there.
Every Thursday this month, we will continue our series showing you ways you can protect your children, the hidden pitfalls of social media, and the challenges law enforcement can face combating sex trafficking. Now, if you think you've seen sex trafficking, or if you're in a situation now and you need help, here's the number to call. The free national hotline is 888-373-7888. You can also call your local police. And right now on Wayne.com, we also have a list of resources for you, warning signs and red flags, so you can spot human trafficking and try to stop it.
One of those things you think can't happen here, but it does.
It does every day in every city in America.
All right, thank you, Alyssa.
I got out the car and I saluted him and I respected him.
A single sign of honor that touched the hearts of thousands. Good evening. I'm Brett Thomas.
And I'm Heather Herron. With his hand over his heart, a 12-year-old boy stood by himself watching the procession for fallen firefighter Eric Balliet pass by last week.
First responders and Eric's family, they wanted to meet the young man who brightened a very dark day. Alyssa Ivanson was at the fire station when they got to shake hands and share a hug. She has a story now you'll only see on News Channel 15. Alyssa.
A viewer sent us this picture of a boy with his hand over his heart during Eric Balliet's procession. We didn't know who he was, but when I posted it on social media, the response was incredible. Thousands of likes, shares, comments, and it didn't take too long for someone to recognize him. 12-year-old Ethan Highguy, who says he was just doing what he thought was right. As the miles-long funeral procession wound through Fort Wayne for Captain Eric Balliet, people lined the streets to say goodbye. But one boy.
And I had no idea what he was going to do.
This boy.
I'm like, look at this kid. Look at what he's doing.
Standing alone, stood out.
And I firmly believe that Eric is living on through a lot of different things that happen daily. And, you know, that moment right there was like, wow.
12-year-old Ethan Highguy hopped out of his grandma's car.
Put his little hand on his heart.
Immediately puts his hand over his heart.
And touched the hearts of thousands.
I just wanted to give his family and him more respect because I know he puts his life on the line every day.
Ethan's grandparents adopted him. His grandpa Joe taught him a lot about life.
Always respect your elders and always respect people that respect you and help you.
And about loss. Ethan's grandpa died last year.
I'm going through my grandpa's loss too, and I want to give hope to other people about Eric's family's loss.
And he just cried. And it's like because of the loss of the kids in the family, and he felt so bad for them because we've had our loss. He knows how hard it is.
But on a day consumed with grief, Ethan gave a glimmer of goodness.
My faith has been slightly restored.
Now firefighters.
There's a bucket on the front of this one, and it goes 100 feet in the air. Yeah.
Scary.
It's awesome.
Are giving some goodness back.
Are you ready to go full-blown firefighter?
A tour of Station 15.
This office right here is Captain Balliette's office.
Eric's station. And dinner.
We're proud of you. All of us are very proud of you.
Even ice cream cake.
It was cool because I got to sit where he sat all the time, and I got badges, patches, and I got a new nickname. Captain Balliette's nickname was Shmoo, and they call me Mini Shmoo. I think it's cool because me and Balliette have a lot of things in common, they were saying.
He's very humble, as Eric was.
I think Eric would smile. I do believe he is smiling. He is smiling, and he would give Ethan as big of a bear hug as he would anybody else.
Eric would have loved this guy. He really, really would have. He's a good kid.
With a smile as infectious as Eric's.
And that kid has got a compassionate heart.
At Station 1, shaking hands and sharing hugs with Eric's family, Ethan found a new family too.
These guys just really made his day, and it's really boosted his self-esteem.
They all respect me too. They make me have self-esteem shoots through, and it feels like I have a nice people that care about me.
We are just want to wrap our arms around him and continue to support whatever his future brings.
Which, according to Ethan, is likely to have a fire truck involved.
I think he probably, I hope he did anyhow, felt a little bit of Eric's presence down there, because between the two of them, they made two great individuals.
That they did. Ethan also learned judo from his grandpa. He says the rules of that martial art form are always respect and be kind. Words we can all live by. In Studio 15, Alyssa Ivanson, News Channel 15.
It's just unbelievable within minutes what could happen. I just saw it all.
The Hines have lived in their Hamilton home for 22 years.
We don't have this.
Near Church and Water Streets.
Not around here.
But Wednesday night.
That was really a shocker.
Their normally quiet street.
Just kind of pushing and shoving, and then they was back behind the car and around the house there.
I saw the guy have a knife in his hand just waving it around.
Was full of police.
It was freaky too. It's like, man, I'm calling, I don't care. If nobody doesn't get hurt, the cops are going to show up.
But someone did get hurt.
Next thing I know, I turn around, and that's when they were walking up with him, and that's when I told dispatch, we need an ambulance ASAP. Somebody's neck got slit.
You can see where the victim went after he was cut. There's still blood on the driveway and on the street, and the neighbors say he made it as far as the front area of that grass before he collapsed.
He dropped right here in our front yard by the sidewalk.
We went and got bed sheets and helped the guy out as best we could.
The only thing I can think of is putting pressure on his neck to stop the bleeding.
You just do it. I'm a veteran, so it's just kind of second nature to jump in and help. So that's what we did.
It was just unbelievable of how much blood you can lose getting slit in the throat. Unbelievable.
Police say a 50-year-old man was cut on his neck and taken to a hospital in critical condition. The Hines say it was a slice several inches long on the side of the neck.
I just hope and pray that that guy's okay. Yeah. That's all I'm worried about.
We knocked on the door of the house where the fight happened and heard a man's voice inside, but no one answered.
The guy that was on the motorcycle, it was his dad that got slit. I was told that it was over the guy that lives down here. He was stealing items from the guy on the motorcycle and his girlfriend. Okay. That's all I heard. So I don't know how true that is.
Police tell me today they are still investigating, and while people have been questioned, no one has been arrested. In Hamilton, Alyssa Ivanson, News Channel 15.